Hi everybody, if you are wanting to dive into the world of capturing your hiking adventures and travel escapades on camera, then you have come to the right spot. Today I am going to introduce you to my personal low-key camera setup that I use for hiking and travel. So recently I received a great question via email from a viewer, and he was wanting to start filming his hiking adventures, his travels, that sort of thing, using his iPhone, and he was also interested in getting a GoPro. So in today's video, I'm going to run through what I use in terms of iPhone and GoPro, and how I use those two devices to film my travels and my adventures all around the world. And we're going to go through the gear and the accessories I use, and we're going to show you a few things that won't break the bank and things that I always take traveling and hiking with me when I'm filming with my iPhone and my GoPro. Now, let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, Mowser here. Now, I am renowned amongst my hiking and travel comrades for being the gear enthusiast of the group. And when I talk about gear, I especially mean the tech, the cameras, all that sort of stuff that I would take traveling and hiking. And sometimes for me, things can get a bit silly. I'm talking about a big camera. And don't forget its lens. And don't forget the backup lens in case the stars align for that perfect astrophotography shot at night. And what if I want to catch some wildlife? I better take this big bad boy as well. Don't forget the tripod that will rival the height of some large trees. Oh, and let's not forget a few filters to satisfy my creative urges. And I also better pack enough batteries to power a small village. And don't forget a microphone for in those windy situations where I'm going to need some microphone to record the audio and get that pristine audio capture. Then I need to charge all this stuff, so I better bring a few cords along as well. And let's not forget some rotating camera bits and bobs and some photography things that will make my photos look even better and get that panning cinematic view. Let's take that too. And since I'm recording so much stuff, I better take some spare SD cards in their protective case. And let's not forget the action cam, better take that as well. But here's the kicker. I venture out into these mountains, walk through these massive valleys, up these peaks, up these ridge lines, and I go for 8, 9, 10 days, and I take all that stuff. Literally, I take a lot of that stuff on some of these past trips. Here's the kicker, I don't end up using it all. Sure, when I do use it, I love having it there. I love the fact I've got it with me. But when you're just going out purely to complete a big trip, big walk, and you're trying to get from A to B and you're not taking the time out to use all that stuff, it just becomes a bit absurd. And the good thing is, there is an easier way. So I had this question from a viewer recently and it got me thinking. They wanted to know, they're starting out, they want to get some video and some good photos of their hikes and of their travels. And it got me thinking, what would be my ultimate sort of minimalist, as minimal as I can be, hiking camera setup? Well, as it turns out, I've pretty much got one. I just take it with all that other stuff. So we're going to have a look at it. Let's dive into it right now. First things first, thanks Patrick, the viewer that sort of questioned the use of the iPhone and the GoPro as a sort of hiking and travel combo. It's a great suggestion. It really is a dynamic duo out in the track. I've used it before. Most of the time when I take all that heavy gear, I end up using the GoPro and the iPhone. So let's go into them, let's have a look. And first up, we're having a look at the iPhone. First up, the iPhone. The iPhone has evolved into an extremely powerful camera. This one, the iPhone 14 Pro, is one of the best cameras in a phone yet, and it boasts a camera that's nothing short of spectacular. And seriously, it blows my mind how good the footage is that you can capture from these phones these days. When you look at a professional photographer and huge YouTuber like Peter McKinnon, one of my favorite YouTubers, he said,
when we buy an iPhone in 2022, are we mostly buying a camera that's able to make calls and text?
I think the answer these days is a resounding yes. These things are only going to keep getting better, and they're at a point now where you can get away with them being your only camera to capture all your travels and your hikes. Now, I'm not going to go into depth with all the tech details. What you need to know is that they've got an excellent camera. They've got awesome image stabilization, so when you're moving around a bit, it's going to stabilize it for you. There are heaps and heaps of other videos going into all that stuff, tutorials, that sort of thing. I'll leave my favorites down below. All you need to know is that this camera is well and truly up to the task of capturing your travel and hiking adventures. Even if you're not an iPhone user, if you're one of these Samsung or Pixel people, fear not. They've all got great cameras these days. The Oppo cameras, I think, are pretty good. There is plenty of videos online telling you about your cameras. If you're in the market for a new one, do your research. I'm an Apple ecosystem boy, I've said that before, and I love the iPhone for shooting video. Now, when I'm out on my adventures with my buddies, they're all just shooting with phones. I try and get them to take other cameras. I try and get them to carry action cams. Most of the time, we come back from these adventures and all the footage is from their phones. I've got a bit of stuff from my mirrorless and digital SLRs and that sort of thing. But most of the time, even I myself am just out whipping this out all the time, getting videos with that. It's convenient, it's easy to use, it fits in my pocket, and it's what I end up using most of the time, especially for video. Even for a hobbyist photographer like me who loves to carry a big camera and just get those awesome photos, when I'm shooting video, and if I want something convenient to use for photo that I can just have ready, bang, on the go, you can't go past it. You cannot fault it. It's in the pocket, it's ready to go. If I get out my big camera, it's going to take me a couple of minutes. If it's raining, I don't like to take it out at all. The iPhone is the perfect camera. As for the big mirrorless, I mainly take that for photography. I love my photography more so than shooting video. And if I do take that, that's what I take that for. So sit down, have a look at a few videos about how to use your iPhone to its maximum capacity, how you can best get videos and photos out of it. Watch a few videos. YouTube, the place to be, place to check out some videos about how to use it. I'm going to go into a few accessories that I think are essential to carry when you're shooting out in the wilderness or when you're traveling with your iPhone if you want to get really good video. We'll go into them in a sec, but first, let's not forget the GoPro. Now, I use a Hero 9 or sometimes my son's Hero 10. They're up to the Hero 11. Either way, any of these last 3 generations of GoPro are an awesome camera. They've got built-in screens, they've got replaceable lenses on the front. They're completely waterproof as is, and when you use them correctly with the right accessories, you can get some really good sound out of them as well. Good enough for my hiking adventures and videos. Sure, you can get these external casings and things like that, but I find straight out of the box, this is almost ready to go. We'll go into a few accessories of this as well, but you're probably saying, Mowser, you just said the iPhone's the go-to thing. Why would I take a GoPro and an iPhone? And you are right to ask that question. That is a very good question. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Well, here's the answer. And it is, well, while you're hiking along and the weather's fine and everything's lovely and you've got your phone in your pocket and you're taking happy snaps, you know, it's lovely. It's good fun. You've got your phone, taking some nice photos. But when the weather comes in, and I mean when it really, really comes in, there are times I do not want to put this thing at risk of getting damaged by weather, dropping it in the rain, dropping it in the wet. In addition to being my camera, it is also something that I use to help navigate. I use maps and stuff as well, don't worry about that. But it is something I don't want to particularly want to lose or damage while I'm out on the track. I have destroyed phones while hiking before, through both water saturation and smashing them. When it's wet, I want this put away, but I still want to be able to film those crazy times in the weather. That's where this guy comes in and says, hey, how you going? I'm your companion for those wild, windy, crazy weather days. And it is. It's a great companion for those days. So away goes the phone, gets put into the pack, keep that away for now. And on those crazy, crazy rainy days, this thing will sit in my pocket often, just like this, with one other device that I'll tell you about. Just sits there in my jacket pocket, ready to come out when needed. Now, let's talk about the practicalities of taking these things hiking and traveling and what you're going to need to keep them focusing and to help you get the best video and photo that you can with these devices. First up, we're going to talk about batteries. Now, while both of them have reasonable battery life, I wouldn't say excellent by any stretch of the imagination, they both have a reasonable battery life. If you are out for more than 1 day or so, you need a backup plan, you need a way to charge the phone, you need to have backup batteries for the GoPro. Now there is a new Enduro battery for the GoPro. That's the one with the white top. That has been out for about a year, and from all reports you get a bit of extra battery life, and if I was to take them, I would probably be only taking 4 instead of 5 batteries. I get around 10 to 20 minutes extra life per battery, so I'd probably take 1 less battery if I was taking the Enduro. I find that on all the hikes that I take the GoPro on, which has been many in the last few years, that 4 or 5 batteries is plenty for an 8 or 9 day trip, and for a 6 or 7 day trip I would consider taking 1 less, but given the minimal weight of their batteries, I really don't trouble myself too much about taking 4 or 5 GoPro batteries. Now, in terms of backup battery for my iPhone, I've been through that before on a previous video a few months ago. You can watch that up here, link is also below, but the one I take at the moment is the Charmis 23,800 milliamp hour battery. Great little battery, I reviewed that in that video, and I find that for an 8-day walk, that gives me plenty of battery backup to be able to charge both my phone as well as my InReach messenger device and my watch and stuff. but that does the trick. Now, very quickly, if you are liking this video, if you're enjoying it, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Hit that little thumbs up, hit that little subscribe button, and you will see future videos. But in the meantime, let's get back to the next item. So we've covered the batteries and how to keep your GoPro or your phone charged while you're out traveling, while you're out on the track. But in order to get the most, there are still a couple more items that you're going to need in order to make your videos the best possible quality using these devices. Now, accessories can be both your ally and your enemy when you're out on the track. It's easy to take way too many. Like I showed at the start of the video, you can end up just taking everything except the kitchen sink. There are a couple you should really consider taking if you want to get the most out of your footage. Next up is tripods. Now, in hiking terms, when you're hiking, tripods can be an absolute weight killer, but they do help. My lightweight big camera tripod, the Peak Designs travel tripod, is well over 1 kilogram, and that is a lightweight one. But luckily, we are only talking about the phone. We're only talking about the GoPro today. So we have some much lighter weight options. For the GoPro, the Shorty, this little number here, is a great little lightweight option. It is tiny. Look at that. It extends. It has a little tripod so you can sit it just about anywhere. It's fantastic, and it's great when you're on the track. You can use it as a little selfie stick, you know, and you can record yourself and just go, hey, look, here you go, I'm out on the road. But you can do that, and it just compacts down, and I keep that in my pocket like that while I'm out on the track. It's fantastic. I love it, and I can get it out. I can film all around. I can set it up over there for a second if I want to get a quick time lapse. Fantastic little tripod. Now, back in the day, I did used to combine it with this one, another GoPro tripod called the 3-way, which would allow you to get this sort of thing happening. Another tripod base on the bottom. It was good. I could take that with the Shorty as well if I wanted a bigger tripod. If I was just mainly using the GoPro for whatever reason, I could take that as a longer one to have that I could pull out occasionally. Don't tend to take that as much these days, because if I'm shooting with both my phone and my GoPro, I will take a longer tripod that will suffice for both. And that's where your phone tripod will come into play and be used for both the GoPro and the phone. Now, one of the ones I have here is made by a mob called Ulanzi. Is it Ulanzi? Don't know. If I take the right GoPro attachment like this thing, I can easily screw that onto the tripod. So I've got an option for the GoPro here or the phone here, and I've got the option of using both with this one little tripod, which is very lightweight. Weight is right there. And the beauty of this tripod is it extends out, not too high. There are higher ones, and I will leave links to those below. I have got one on the way for a longer, higher tripod. Haven't tried it, but it is reviewed well. I'll leave you a link to that one below. This one is just very short, has the tripod set up, and it also has the little cold shoe there where you could put a mic if you wanted to use one as well. Great little tripod, selfie stick scenario. Just a bit bigger than the Shorty. I probably wouldn't take this one with a Shorty, I'd take one or the other, but I would take the Shorty with this other one that I'll flash up on the screen now. That is a taller tripod for phone and GoPro. I just bought this little phone attachment online. It folds down, it is extremely lightweight, and it allows you to just put your phone in there, to put it on the tripod and get some still shots. Pretty handy if you're planning on doing a bit of astrophotography and that sort of thing with your phone and your GoPro. Sounds crazy, I know, but it can be done. And it's just a good lightweight option. That tripod is a very good option. I will definitely take that on longer hikes. So we've covered keeping your phone and your GoPro charged, full of battery. We've stabilized your camera. You've now got it on that nice tripod. You're about to shoot a video and the wind's coming in. And what do you know? The GoPro mic is getting all this wind noise. The phone mic is getting all this wind noise. Terrible. They can't hear what you're saying. Look at this video.
Hand route to Mount Outer Barron. Pretty well defined.
I'm looking at that video and I'm thinking, what the hell was that? So that little clip there was using my phone without any sort of microphone or anything at all. Sounds terrible. Couldn't use the footage. What makes them often great videos is the audio that comes along with it, with the sound, the dialogue, that sort of thing. Wind noise, however, can be a formidable opponent. It can completely ruin your video, especially when you're talking to camera. And I don't know how many times I have come back from a trip and just looked at the video and thought, I can't use that because of the wind noise. It just ruins the audio. These days, there is some AI software that can remove that wind noise, but it's still not that great, and you've got to pay for a lot of it. However, fear not, there are solutions and we're going to look at them now. Let's look at microphones for the phone and for the GoPro. Now with the GoPro, I did used to favour the use of the GoPro Media Mod. This is a little capsule device you put around the GoPro in here, and it had a foam cover right there where that would block the wind noise. Worked pretty well, but the thing with this, quite expensive. The foam cover actually kept falling off and I lost it, and they won't replace it. They don't sell them separately. So we got rid of the Media Mod. So I looked around for other solutions, and the best solutions are often the most simple. What I did find was one of these things. That is a foam cover that goes over your GoPro, straight over, very simple, very easy foam cover that cost very little on Amazon, and that's now what I use. I keep that attached to my GoPro pretty much all the time like that. It's got a little hole so I can still fit my Shorty tripod on there like that, and that is pretty much how my GoPro stays all the time. It can live in my pocket like that. If I detach the Shorty, the foam just stays on it, and I can just carry the GoPro if I want without the Shorty attached in my pocket and pull it out in the wind, and I get great audio. I find this is really good. It's as good as an external mic with the GoPro for me, and it's something that I recommend everyone gets if they've got a GoPro. I actually bought about 6 of these things because I thought that they would degrade quickly and tear, but I've only ever used this one in 12 months that I've had it. It's the only one I've used. It hasn't torn. It's actually very durable, very good, and for the cheap price on Amazon, link is below. It is a great little product. So for those cold weather, wet weather days, this is a great solution for capturing the video. I don't use the GoPro so much for photos, it's mainly video. I use the phone for photos, but this is a great solution for capturing all that video and stuff on those rainy days with the foam cover. That's your audio covered with the GoPro. Now, when it comes to audio with your iPhone, I never used to carry an external mic for my iPhone. I used to rely on the internal microphone in the phone, and that's where you get issues like that previous video where there's all that wind noise. Terrible. So I recently looked, when I decided I was going to use my phone more for shooting video, I looked into a few microphones. I already had something like the Rode Video Micro, which you could attach to your phone. Only problem with this is that you need a mount for your phone to mount the mic onto, which is good if you've got something like the tripod where you can put it onto the side. But if you don't, if you're just using your phone, that makes things fairly challenging. So I looked at some other options, and what I found was an awesome and very cheap little lapel microphone working off Bluetooth that I have recommended all my friends purchase, and it is this little thing here. I have never heard of this brand, but I purchased one. They come in a single or a double pack, little lapel mic that powers on, easy to charge. That sits on you here. The little plug goes into your phone. It's got USB-C and the iPhone Lightning connector. That all comes with the kit, plugs into the phone. So you've got the little lapel mic sitting here, and then when I switch to my phone, the audio is quite good. I'm not using the internal microphone from the iPhone, which I'm looking at right here, but I am just with the lapel, and I can whisper and I can turn around and you can still probably hear me quite well, you know what I'm talking about? Pretty good little mic, and I think it's fantastic value. I found a twin pack for about 40 Australian dollars on Amazon. I've just got the single one. I think I might actually get a twin pack as well because it's such a great little mic. And what the hell, I'll just go outside for a second and we will see how far we can go away while I'm still talking outside. I'm going to be about 50 meters away. Wait a sec. So I'm currently outside. I'm going to check my mailbox, and hopefully you are picking that up quite clearly. What a great little device. And I can charge this off my battery if I need to. Uses very little charge. So yeah, that's the lapel mic. Great little gadget, great little microphone to take on your hikes, on your trips, just whenever you're using your phone for video anywhere. I recommend getting one of these. Get it today, link is below. Back to the main camera. And that pretty much completes your kit of your bare essentials that you need if you're going to take your iPhone or your GoPro hiking. You've got your phone, you've got your GoPro, you've got your backup batteries, you've got your tripod, and you've got your little microphone or your wind cover. Links for everything are down below. A little disclaimer, if they're Amazon links, then I probably get a small commission if you buy off those links. That just helps the channel grow, helps pay for all this gear that I buy to review on this channel. I buy it all myself with my own money. If I ever did get anything given to me, I would let you know. But that's it. That's today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are enjoying these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Even hit the little bell icon thing and you'll get notified when there is a new video. I love doing that for the YouTubers I follow, getting notified when a new vid's out. Love it. You can also sign up to my newsletter at the link below. It's a newsletter where I share just my thoughts, my musings, things I'm finding interesting. It could be anything, and it's just a short snippet I send out occasionally, not that often. If you have got any tips or tricks on shooting with GoPro or iPhone, I would love to hear them. If you've got any little accessories or bits and pieces you think you need to carry when you're out with them, please leave them in the comments below. I love to hear about new gear. I discovered these lapel mics just by scouring through the internet. I love suggestions, and if you've got some, then leave them down below. So keep the conversation flowing in the comments down below. Tell me what you found useful, and until the next video, hopefully I'll see you out on the trail. Until then, I will see you next time. Have a great day, and thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.